2019, a young woman checked into a hotel in Henan, China, but she never checked out alive. This is not the opening scene of a horror movie or a piece of urban fiction designed to keep you awake at night. This is a real-life event that went viral across the Chinese internet, a story that still leaves people cold to this day. The account comes from a man named Ah Feng. In March 2019, he and his colleague, a young woman named Yumi, were sent to a remote county called Wuji for a business trip. When they arrived, the atmosphere felt fundamentally wrong. The hotel was a 7-story monolith standing in total isolation at a crossroads. Because of nearby roadwork, the streets were vacant. Directly in front of the entrance stood a massive ceremonial stone pillar, looking less like a decoration and more like a silent, watchful guard. Yumi was terrified of heights and isolation. She told Ah Feng, "If my room is at the end of a hallway, I absolutely won't stay there." But as fate would have it, Ah Feng was assigned to the end of the hall on the 3rd floor, and Yumi was placed in the exact same spot on the 4th. That night, Ah Feng went up to Yumi's room to help her move her bags. When he opened the door, he froze. The room was dark, but the window was flooded with a ghastly deep blue light from the construction LEDs outside. Everything in the room was bathed in this eerie underwater blue. The air felt unnaturally cold. Ah Feng, a rational man, felt a primal fear he couldn't name. He grabbed her bags and moved her to a room in the middle of his floor. But something had already followed them. At 3 a.m., Ah Feng was jolted awake. From just outside his window came a rhythmic tapping, like a metal spoon striking a ceramic bowl. Clink, 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 clink. 3 long strikes, 2 short ones, a precise, ominous code. When he shouted at the window, the sound vanished instantly. The next day, the rest of their team arrived. During a meeting, Yumi walked in, pale as a ghost. She told them, "I checked the building from the outside. Our rooms are the only ones with lights on. This hotel is empty." As they sat in silence, the sound of a child's high-pitched giggling suddenly echoed through the hallway. Tee-hee, tee-hee. But there were no families registered at the hotel, no children for miles. The team didn't wait. They fled to a bright, modern hotel in the city center, thinking they were finally safe. But the horror was just beginning. Yumi fell ill. She had a raging fever that no medicine could break. Her behavior turned dark. She stopped eating and would sit for hours staring at a blank wall with an empty gaze. When asked what she was doing, she replied with chilling calm, "I'm busy. I'm talking to someone." Her colleagues tried to send her home, but she resisted with a strange, desperate force, as if an invisible chain was anchoring her to that town. On the drive to the hospital, she began whispering to thin air, followed by a jagged, mechanical laugh that didn't sound like her at all. On March 26th, after the rest of the team had returned home, Ah Feng received a frantic call from his boss. Yumi was dead. She was found alone in her hotel room. The police ruled the cause of death as inconclusive. Her final trace was a 1-minute voice message sent to her boss at midnight. There were no words, only a series of unrecognizable whispers and static, a haunting conversation with something that shouldn't exist. 2 years later, the team leader, Lao Kai, finally confessed a detail he had kept secret. He told Ah Feng, "That first night, when I helped you get the bags from your room, I didn't want to tell you why I was in such a hurry to leave. But as I sat on your sofa, I looked at the reflection in the blacked-out TV screen." "Whose face did you see?" Ah Feng asked. Lao Kai's voice trembled. "I saw Yumi. She was standing right next to you." But at that exact moment, Yumi was alone, locked in her room on a completely different floor. Who was she talking to in those final days, and what was really being said in that final midnight recording?